Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in the Final Fantasy X HD Remaster, continuing our Dark Aeon guide. We are in the final part and taking on the Dark Magus Sisters. Same party as always, Titus, Walker, Riku. Make sure strength, agility, defense, luck, and accuracy are super high. Sticking to the celestial weapons and the ultimate armors. Also, make sure you have a ton of remedies and holy waters. We have a bunch left over from last time when we fought Dark Anima, so we are just going to reuse those. But if you are missing any, you can always stock up before this fight. So get everyone in order. Also recommends changing up your rotation a bit. Highly recommend having Auron with his celestial weapon so you can do the first strike technique where you start a fight off with him and then switch him out to whoever you want to get the first turn. This fight location is going to be at Mushroom Rock Road, so fast travel to Mihan High Road, ask for a chocobo outside of the agency, and then ride this thing all the way to Mushroom Rock. There is a save point right next to the gate. Make sure you make a save there. Very important because it's very easy to mess this next step up. So the Magus Sisters fight is going to come in two flavors. You can either fight them individually, which is what I recommend doing since it's a lot easier that way, or you can fight them all together, which is going to be the hardest of all the Dark Aeon fights. So why make things hard on ourselves, and let's try to split them apart. So make sure after you save, head through the gate, and then you want to go up to this couple right here. Make sure you walk past them. They should start chasing you. Make sure you quickly sprint to the left and then turn to go into the ravine. Once you're here, keep running. Don't touch the save point and hit up the elevator. Once you get up here, the game is going to explain to you how this mini game works. And to sum up how this mini game works, you are basically going to be chased by these three people. Your goal is to make it to the elevator on the other side of the ravine at the precipice. If you get caught by any three of them, you are going to have to fight all three Magus Sisters at once in one battle, which once again is very hard. If you happen to make it halfway across the ravine, one of them is going to drop off, and if any of them catch you before the elevator, you are going to have to fight two out of three of them. And if you make it to the elevator, you can basically split the battle up into three sections. It's a little frustrating because you have to play the game with the PS2 era fixed camera controls, so try your best not to get stuck on the geography, but also try your best to go as fast as possible. If you do mess up, you can always just soft reset. Thankfully, we made a save right before we interacted with these people, so it's not too bad. So just try your best to steer your way through the ravine. Once you get to the elevator, you're going to take that up to the precipice, and then we could prepare for the actual fight. Keep in mind you cannot save at any time between this little mini game and the fights, so you are kind of out of luck. The elevators in this part at the precipice are going to be disabled once you start. So whenever you're ready, just make sure you walk back towards the people and then challenge this lady. She is going to start you off with the first Magus Sister, who is going to be Sandy. So if you go the route of fighting them individually, they are going to be on par difficulty-wise with the first four Dark Aeons, so expect a difficulty of Veil 4, Ifrit, Ixion, or Shiva. When you start off the fight, make sure you start off with Riku, throw out her overdrive by mixing our Lunar Curtain with our Gambler Spirit, throw out a Hyper Mighty G. Having Shell on everyone is a must because all three of the Magus Sisters can throw Mega Graviton out, which will mess you up unless you have Shell on, and then all you have to do is just get back to our quick hit Pinata strategy. For the first Magus Sister, she's very vulnerable to overdrives, so make sure you go into this with a full overdrive bar on Titus and Waka, and you can deal a significant amount of health to her right from the start. So just make sure you lay the smack down on her. Very easy. After your overdrives are done, just get to quick hit pinataing her to death, making sure that you heal anyone who takes any spills. Watch out for Mega Graviton. Once again, you want to make sure you have Auto Life and Shell on everyone at all times, and this fight should be a breeze. In terms of her other attacks, besides Mega Graviton, she has her regular attack, which is going to petrify whatever it hits, but remember our ultimate armors are going to consist of either ribbon or stoneproof, which should protect us against the nasty status condition. It is also susceptible to counterattacks if it hits Titus or Waka, so we have that to look forward to. She also has Razia, which is going to put death on whatever it hits, however, it can only hit one thing at a time. So once again, she's very easy because none of her attacks can hit everyone except for Mega Graviton, and before that gets off, make sure you definitely have Shell on everyone, and you can see how easy this fight is. So make sure you just keep up our quick hit pinata strategy. Whenever you get an overdrive, make sure you use it, and she should go down in a few minutes. Unfortunately, in between fights, you can't hit up a save point, so you're going to have to manually heal yourself. Make sure you use someone who you aren't currently using, so like Yuna or someone, just make sure you just use Cure and cure everyone. If you are running low on MP, it's time to use your Ethers or Turbo Ethers. They aren't really going to be used towards anything else, so might as well use them now. After that, whenever you're ready, make sure you head down towards the elevator and challenge the second Mega Sister boss fight. This one is going to be against Mindy. So Mindy is going to be pretty rough. She always starts off with an ambush, and it's always going to be Pasado. Pasado is going to insta-kill whoever it hits. Luckily for you, it can only hit one person at a time, and the other two people have Auto Phoenix on them, so we should pick back up with a nice little overdrive boost. Once you start the fight, as you can see, Mindy has a max evasion stat, so it's impossible to hit her even with a max accuracy stat. So with that in mind, the only thing that can hit her from the outset is going to be overdrives. So use whatever overdrives you can, since that's the only thing that could really damage her at this point, and make sure you get to Riku's first turn as quick as possible. Throw up Hyper Mighty G, that way you have Shell and Auto Life on everyone. Remember, just like her other sisters, her deadliest move is going to be Mega Graviton, which once again will mess you up unless you have Shell on. Besides Mega Graviton, her other two attacks are going to be Pasado, which once again will insta-kill whoever it damages, but it can only damage one person at a time, and it's going to be warded off against thanks to Auto Life or Auto Phoenix. Keep in mind, if someone does go down because of a Pasado, make sure you pick them back up, and then after picking them back up, make sure you recast Shell on them. That way you don't get surprised by a surprise Mega Graviton. Her other move is going to be Calamity, which doesn't do any damage, however it puts some nasty status conditions on you, including Poison, Darkness, Full Break, Silence, and Curse. 3 out of those 5 can be warded against thanks to Ribbon, however Curse and Full Break are going to take some extra steps in order to take off. So to remove Curse, just like the previous Dark Anima fight, we are going to use our Holy Water to remove that so we can get our Overdrive to start filling up. As for getting around Full Break, you are going to have to use Dispel, so make sure you dispel anyone who has Break on them right away. It's not too big of a priority because she doesn't really have any physical moves that Armor Break is going to significantly buff her with, so if you have to heal things, make sure you prioritize getting rid of Curse first. So that's how you deal with her on a defensive end. As for an offensive end, before you can even start attacking her with anything besides overdrives, you are going to have to get around her super high evasion stat. So the way to do that is to make sure you have 5 times luck and 5 times accuracy on everyone. So in your free moment, make sure you start casting luck on everyone until they have 5 buffs, and then you start casting aim on everyone so they have 5 buffs. If you want to save yourself the time, you can also use Riku's overdrive and use an Ultra Nullall, which is to mix 2 healing springs together. So those are going to be your 2 options. One's going to take 10 turns, one's going to take 1 turn, but an overdrive bar. So whatever you have available to you, make sure you take advantage of that. And once you have this 5 times boost on your accuracy and your luck, you can start going back to the quick hit pinata strategy and just start whacking her to death. And once you are able to hit her, you can see how little health she has to make up for her super high accuracy. So you should be able to take her out easy peasy once you get everyone to the point where you can hit her consistently. Other than that, it's just a matter of keeping Shell on everyone to avoid Mega Graviton's massive damage and to use Remedy on whoever is affected by its status condition effects. Remember that it's only going to hit whoever you didn't take the time to grind a ribbon out for, so keep that in mind, and make sure you be careful when Doom does take its toll. Make sure you pick the person up right away, and make sure you get Shell on everyone who you do pick up, and other than that, she should go down easy peasy. And with her defeat, we are down to 1 sister. Remember to pick everyone up after the fight, so heal everyone and pick everyone's MP back up. Take the elevator down, and we are on to fighting the last sister, who is Cindy. So walk around the bend back to where she dropped off in the race, so just make sure you backtrack. She should stop you along the way, so just keep walking until you get to this part, so about halfway through the ravine. And now it's on to the actual fight itself. Now, this actual fight is pretty simple. She has a very high health stat at about 3 million. However, her evasion stat is at 0, so there's no excuse not to be able to hit her using our quick hit pinata strategy. Other than that, she only has 2 offensive moves we have to worry about. She does Mega Graviton like the other 2 sisters. However, by now you should definitely know how to avoid this. Make sure you have Shell and Auto Life on everyone at once, and the best way to do that is, of course, to use Riku's Hyper Mighty G. Her other offensive move is going to be Camisade, which is going to cause insta-death. It can only hit one person at a time, so it's not too bad. The downside is it's also going to drain all of their MP, so that might be a little rough since Quick Hit does require us to have MP. The ways around this is to make sure you heal up on your MP using Turbo Ethers, or if you want to use one, you can use a 3 stars. That way you get no MP cost for the entire fight. Other than that, it's just a matter of sticking to the quick hit pinata strategy, using overdrives whenever they come available to you, and making sure you have Shell and Auto Life on everyone at all times. And you should be able to whittle her down really quickly, since once again, she doesn't have any real gimmicks in terms of her defensive department. You just have to mind that you are going to lose your MP every time she hits a Camisade on you, and to keep up Shell so you can avoid the super damage from Mega Graviton. And when she's all being done whittled down, she should be defeated, and that should be it for all 3 Dark Magus Sisters, as well as all 8 Dark Aeons. And after that, we should get this little cutscene in the Calmlands, where this magical force is going to come out of the gorge right here. This is going to be Penance, aka the last super boss in the game. This is where all our efforts in the Dark Aeon fights are going to culminate, and this is going to be the subject of our next and final part of this achievement guide series. So stay tuned for the next video, where we will be taking on Penance in the ultimate battle, and more importantly, where we will finally get our achievement for doing all of this work. So check back soon next time for more, and that's all there is to it.